Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now, it's real time.
We've got Josh Cooper here in the studio from Beckman Nets and P-Line and a number of different companies that he reps here in the Northwest. We're going to talk about nets in particular and the newest line from P-Line, the Endurex product that I am really looking forward to playing with. It's good to see you, man.
See you again.
How was your hunting season last year?
Awesome.
Was it good?
Yeah, I got a pretty large antelope, and then my daughter got a nice standard 4-point buck over in Montana. So.
Oh, very nice. Got your daughter into one. I love it. I love it. I love it. Big rifle guy, long range shooter, builds rifles. Yep. I mean, the guy does everything, let alone rep some of the best companies that we have here. We've had a chance to work with Josh in a number of different ways over the years. But again, we're going to talk about Beckman Nets first. You actually brought one in. Oh, by the way, we've got a shout out from the folks over there at the Norfolk Nehalem handicap platform. Last year, I don't remember this story, their nets were stolen. Beckman donated a net, and they just wanted to call and thank you for that. So
that's cool. I appreciate you lining it up.
I'm telling you right now, it was one of the weirdest. And then it got stolen and then brought back, which is just the weirdest thing. But anyway, Brian and all you folks over there, I'm hoping that that net's getting well used. Okay. So you brought in kind of a standard net. Let's show that off, right? Now, we've talked about this before. I'm not a huge fan of giant nets. Again, I fish a lot alone, and having a massive net is sometimes hard to net with. This is kind of the happy medium. What size is this one?
It's a 36-43.
36-43. If you're out there watching, we're going to give you a reason why you're going to want to go chase one of these down, because it's going to be a deal. Of course, come on now. But that's the perfect size, at least in my mind, for chasing the salmon that we have these days.
Yeah, it's good for everything. If you're going to have one net in your boat for kind of the Columbia or this area, this is kind of the size.
Again, the size was?
36-43.
36-43, and Fisherman's has the largest selection. I mean, all three of their stores, they've got them all. But you got to kind of talk a little bit about this bag. This isn't the old school giant thick bag, but this is a fish-friendly bag as well.
Yeah, so coated. So basically, it's got a little bit larger netting, so it goes through the water really nice. Doesn't hang up quite as much as like a real heavy, aggressive netting, but it's still coated. So hooks come in and out easy. It's fish friendly. Doesn't mess up their slime as it would if it was just a straight mono net.
Right, which is a huge advantage, and we'll talk about that. I've got my net right back here it's very customized, right? That I use every day when I'm fishing solo or of course with friends in it or whatever else. But some of the things that you got to remember about Beckman, the reason why that they are so popular, literally nationwide, if not worldwide, and of course in the Northwest, which they originated in, is that yoke is a little bit different. Certainly a lot of strength there, and the bow on the you know, as far as the hoop itself is made in a way that does not bend very easy. What do they call that in the inside with the little
I forget what they call it. It's like these little wide truss in there.
It
goes all the way through.
Gives it its rigidity all the way through there. Prior to the show, though, I'd ask one of the #1 questions that I get about Beckman nets, and there's several, is replacing a net, because it is not. It's not one of those things where it happens very often, but if you get it hung up on something, especially in the heat of the moment, trying to net a fish, whatever it is, you can certainly tear one of these nets out. Now, it's going to take a lot of effort, but I've done it, and I'm assuming that you've done it. And there's ways that you can fix a net to where you can still fish with it. But the question I get is, how easy is it? And you mentioned this prior to the show, so I'm putting him on the spot, how to change these bags out. It's not easy. Fisherman's carries them. So if you got a bag that needs to be replaced, go to Fisherman's, you can get one. But you have to understand it takes a little effort to put those on.
You can save a lot of money. You don't need to go buy a new net. You can buy a new bag. But you have to get aggressive. So you have to be willing to bend this way over here. And everybody gets nervous before. The hoops are very strong. You have to bend them way over here in order to feed it around.
Right.
But once you do that and you realize how you have to do that, it's not that hard.
It's not an everyday net, right? It's not a net that you're typical going to run across. Where if you did do that, you will fold it. It will taco. But don't rip the bag, right? It's just one of those things you don't want to do that. It happens. Here's one, though. This is the net that I have in my boat every day. And you're going to see that it's customized a little bit. But this bag is a fish-friendly bag. But it's been in the boat for 2 years now, and I don't have my boat covered. The bag's in great shape. And it's, for me, the perfect size. This is the next size down from the one he just showed you, okay? So it's a little bit smaller, and it's easy for me, again, being solo a lot, to be able to reach out. You can see these pads here. S&C, thank you very much, Stuart, where I can reach out and still have good grip on that net and get the fish in there. Now, yesterday I had to pull that maneuver off with that fish I just showed you, and one of the things, did you see that? Did you see that? That's another one of the customizations. When you fish alone a lot, and I know that you've been in this situation, that bag can be a problem. And it's another reason why I went with this particular net, because the bag's a little bit smaller, a little bit shallower, I should say. So it's easier, you know, to get in there without it getting caught up on stuff. But that is kind of a slick little thing right there, isn't it?
I like it. I like it. I kind of want one. Yeah. I want one for people in my boat that aren't me netting.
Correct.
Because you could just clip it there and not worry about them letting the bag go and get into the hooks.
Now, this is from my buddy again, Stuart Carr. One of his friends made this little magnet thing to hold the bag, and I'm going to tell you right now, I've netted 4 or 5 fish, 5 or 6 fish with this since then, and every single time it's just an advantage. It's just nice being able to grab it by yourself, get it over the side, and not worry about it getting hung up. So there's something that you might think about that's not commercially available, but there are other options that are out there, or you can make something on your own. But mine is the extendable handle. Okay, I want the longest handle that I can get away with. I think this is 7 foot when it's extended. I'm not sure if you know the numbers on them or not. I'm terrible with that stuff.
It's a 4 to 7 foot is what.
At least with the extension, I've got enough room where if the fish is out there giving me a hard time, I can get to it, right? So the longer the handle for me is an advantage. I don't like the shorter handles. Some people do. But if you can see here, once I get it underneath my arm, I got full control, and it just makes your life a whole lot simpler. Maybe a Beckman thing, maybe a combination, maybe a little partnership going on there. We'll have to find out. Local guy doing good. Yeah. But certainly some reasons why you want to head over to Fisherman's and take advantage of this upcoming segment. We're going to have our Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week. Then in the Deal of the Week, we're going to get you a deal on one of these things. But I want to talk about P-Line when we come back. I want to talk about this in Durex. Okay, we talked with Don from P-Line not too long ago when it first was introduced. A braided line that doesn't fade and it's guaranteed for life. First question people are going to have is, how does that help me? What would your answer be?
It doesn't fade. So like if you want a high vis line, you have high vis line for the life of that line. So it's never going to fade when you're, it doesn't run down your arm on the first time you're out fishing, right? Like I was telling you about halibut fishing, reeling in from 600 feet, and I got green sludge coming down my rod, right? And dyeing everything in my boat. Well, this is going to keep its color for the life of the line.
It's the first time that's ever happened in that industry, right? In the braided line industry overall. I mean, all of them have faded. That's just the way it is. Doesn't matter what manufacturer it is. Some are better than others, but a lot of them will just turn white over time. And you mentioned high vis. That's another thing I want to talk about in this upcoming Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week, is why high vis in the right circumstance is an advantage and can help you catch more fish because you're fishing better. Okay, we'll have that when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Chevy Silverado and the impressive new Turbo Max engine. Flex your muscle with the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Official truck of Outdoor GPS.